what we don't talk about is, you know, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. Well, come on, man, that kid was a cakewalk.
Crawford soundly defeating Canelo Alvarez. We thought that maybe he could have won by even a further margin on the scorecards. He gets it done unanimously. Teddy, can you put into words what we just saw from Terence Crawford?
Well, the only thing I wonder is if Crawford was born and made in 11.
Floyd didn't just throw shade. He built an entire solar eclipse over Canelo's legacy. Let's be real. Nobody throws a verbal uppercut quite like Floyd Mayweather. When the cameras rolled after Canelo's loss to Terence Crawford, Money Mayweather practically licked his chops. He didn't ease into it. He torpedoed the conversation straight into the S-word, steroids. Y'all don't talk about that.
Beginning that if you go back, and I know it was a lot of years ago, I get it, but you have to have something to point at. If you go back to when he lost his first fight, of course Canelo I'm talking about, to Mayweather, it wasn't just that his hands were too slow, his feet were too slow. And he's in there with a guy with quick feet and quicker hands. You know what? It doesn't matter how big he is. What did Ali say? Your hands cannot hit what your eyes cannot see. That was tonight.
He sneered, as if holding a golden secret the boxing world was too polite to mention. It was savage, hilarious, and a reminder of why Floyd lives rent-free inside Canelo's head. Then came the knockout line. Canelo was always a cakewalk for real boxers.
If you continue, do you feel like this is still the Canelo Alvarez that we've all known and loved for all these years? Or do you feel like something's changed? Are you still the fighter that you were?
No, I feel great. I feel strong.
Translation? When you strip away the flash, Canelo's kryptonite has always been someone who can actually box and not just brawl. Floyd practically smirked through the implication that he'd already written the playbook on how to dismantle Canelo, and Crawford just used the deluxe edition. And he wasn't wrong. Crawford didn't just beat Canelo, he soundly defeated him, like a maestro taking a violin away from a karaoke singer.
Prime, how can you gauge it?
Doesn't matter, we saw a great fight tonight, did we not? That's all that matters. Two guys risked it, and the better man won tonight. That was Crawford.
Terence got it right. Is there no need for a rematch, or do you want to see running back? Because it was pretty good, like you said.
No, it was pretty, it was really good, actually. So it's up to the jam. He's a jam. He can do whatever he wants.
Even the scorecards hinted at an invisible extra margin. Mayweather's commentary came off less like a hot take and more like a prophecy fulfilled. This wasn't new info to him. It was Monday morning for a man who already cashed the bet slip in his mind. The drama isn't just about shape, though. It's about the swagger behind it. Floyd framed himself as the original blueprint, the guy who already taught Canelo a lesson. And now he's watching his spiritual successor, Bud Crawford, ace the final exam. It's messy, petty, and absolutely glorious for fans who live for boxing soap opera energy. The twist? Floyd isn't just celebrating Crawford's win, he's low-key roasting an entire narrative. All those years of Canelo the Unstoppable have crumbled under the weight of one perfectly timed fight.
Terence Crawford create greatness and beat Canelo Alvarez tonight. What was your thoughts on that performance from Terence?
Terence Crawford is a great performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger. He had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, and he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turkey Al-Sheikh for putting it together. Just a great, great night for boxing. Yeah.
Floyd's gloating isn't random. It's him reminding the world, I told you so, in 4K Ultra HD. Floyd didn't just bet on Crawford, he basically bought front row seats to Canelo's humiliation and charged the house double. If money talks, Floyd Mayweather's wallet just dropped a diss track. While most of us are Googling free fight streams and clutching at loose change, Floyd slapped down a cool $50,000 on Terence Crawford like it was Monopoly money. And spoiler alert, he didn't just win the bet. He strutted off with a bag fat enough to make a heavyweight jealous.
It was great.
Let's put some context on this.
It was great.
Let's put some context on this victory first. A year out of the ring. I think it was like 13 some odd months out of the ring, okay?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. 2 weight classes. Think about that.
Yep.
He had surgery early at the beginning of the year. Surgery on the shoulder surgery, right? Not sure which one. And to come in here and to put on that type of performance against Canelo that actually is coming off a performance, right? You expected Canelo to be sharp. He was sharp, however, what Crawford did was he took the air out of the ball.
Yep.
He used this. That's what boxing's about, people. It's about this. Strategy. That's what he had. He used his feet. He understood Canelo every single movement. That's why Canelo couldn't land any shots on him. He knew what was coming. He knew that the looping right hand was going to come from the southpaw position. So what did he do? Hold the phone. He knew that the hook to the body was going to come. What did he do? Block, and he shot up with counters.
One of his great assets that we don't hear about enough. One of those things that are not so easily as immeasurable on paper, but it's eyes. Vision,
focus.
Yeah, we know the physical ones we talk about and we understand so easily. Speed, power.
It isn't just gambling, it's clairvoyance with a VIP pass. Floyd didn't predict the fight. He called it like a stock trader who knew the company was about to go public. And yet, in the opposite corner, Canelo Alvarez stood there after the loss like the world's most polite Bond villain. He's just been outboxed, his aura dented, his social media mentions set ablaze. And still the guy smiles, shakes hands, calls Crawford a great fighter, and says he feels strong and ready. It's like watching someone get dumped on live TV and still compliment the other person's outfit. Absurdly classy, but also low-key chilling. That contrast is what makes this moment such high-grade boxing theater. On one side, you've got Floyd, gleefully counting his winnings and throwing shade like he's narrating a reality TV confessional. On the other, you've got Canelo, refusing to give anyone the satisfaction of seeing him sulk. He's not slinking off into a tequila ad. He's practically saying, yeah, I lost. I'll be back. Stay tuned. But
let me tell you, great fight. I was hoping that there was more action coming from Canelo. You know, I'm used to Canelo fighting that way all the time. You know, he tried his best. You know, he always has trouble against movers. I was really expecting them to be more punches, more movement by Canelo. What can you say?
Here's the twist. Canelo's composure might actually be scarier than Floyd's gloating. Because the guy who keeps smiling after a loss isn't done. He's plotting. Floyd's money flex proves his point today, but Canelo's poker face hints at a sequel tomorrow. It's the perfect soap opera setup. Will the humbled king rise again or fade into Instagram motivational quotes? Either way, this single segment of the saga is pure spectacle. Floyd's bet became the headline, but Canelo's reaction might be the foreshadowing. He's bruised, but not broken. He's embarrassed, but not exiting. And that tension, between Floyd's thunderclap of "I told you so" and Canelo's ice-cool "not finished yet," is exactly why boxing fans can't look away. Some fighters tap out. Canelo basically sent Crawford a see-you-soon calendar invite. Defeat often turns champions into ghosts, not Canelo. Within minutes, he was hinting at a rematch, praising Crawford while plotting revenge. "I love boxing, I still take risks," he said. The line of a man who's been to the mountaintop and isn't afraid to climb again. This wasn't false bravado. It was a competitor refusing to be erased. That tiny flicker, the willingness to go again against the guy who just schooled you, is what separates an athlete from a legend. Whether it's bravado or blueprint, fans smelled drama brewing. Ryan Garcia called Crawford the best ever. Teddy Atlas called Canelo's footwork a crime scene either way. Someone needed a mop. As social media exploded, boxing's commentariat lined up to genuflect. Ryan Garcia tweeted that Crawford might be the best fighter of all time, bold words from a young star who doesn't hand out that label lightly. Teddy Atlas, meanwhile, went full professor mode, breaking down how Canelo's slow feet and predictable patterns became an open buffet for Crawford's timing. This was the same blueprint Floyd used years ago, now upgraded with Crawford's radar-like instincts. The message? This wasn't an upset. This was an overdue reckoning. Every move Canelo tried, Crawford seemed to know in advance. Hooks blocked, counters landed, loops anticipated. This wasn't just athleticism, it was clairvoyance with gloves on. Crawford took the air out of the ball, as one analyst said, turning a dangerous fight into a masterclass. He'd been off over a year, had shoulder surgery, jumped weight, and still he made Canelo look like a sparring partner. Boxing at its highest form isn't about power, it's about prediction. And Crawford predicted everything. Nothing rattles the timeline like Canelo saying the quiet part loud. Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. When asked to compare Floyd and Bud, Canelo didn't hedge. He didn't dodge. He basically set Twitter on fire. "I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather." Boom. This wasn't just a compliment. It was a Molotov cocktail lobbed into the GOAT debate. Suddenly, the man who Floyd once humbled was saying someone else humbled him even harder. For boxing historians, it was like the end of a Marvel movie, teasing the next villain who's really the final boss. That single line will be argued in gyms and forums for years.